Oh, fuck, man, I'm getting fucking old. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another tier list video. I can't contain my excitement today, ladies and gentlemen, because today, we're gonna rank all the Spider-Man movies, all the movies that have been released up until this point. We're gonna rank them in anticipation of the nostalgia fest, the orgasmic fest that is Spider-Man No Way Home, which will be releasing in the coming weeks. I think next week, actually. No, maybe 2 weeks. Yeah, I thought this would be a good video to make, to kind of get you guys perspective on what you think of the other Spider-Man movies, and for you to understand my perspective. But more importantly, I also thought it would be a great searchable video to kind of get me some more exposure, because that's what the game is all about. Everybody's fucking probably Googling some shit about Spider-Man right now, so this video kind of seemed the most logical sense to make at this point in time. So yeah, Spider-Man tier list. Let's get right into it without any further ado. All right, so we're gonna be tackling the Raimi trilogy first, the Holy Trilogy. I grew up on these. You know, I was born in '99, so I've watched at least all three of these movies at least like a zillion times each. You know, I know them like the back of my hand. Yeah, you know, this is what really got me into the character of Spider-Man. You know, I was a mega fan back when I was younger. As I grew older, I got a little farther away from mega fan, probably to just fan now. You know, he was the gateway hero for me, because everyone kind of has that gateway thing that kind of gets them into other characters and stuff like that. Batman and Spider-Man were really the two guys that did it for me. Let's start with what I like about the first one, Spider-Man 1 by Sam Raimi. It's a landmark film. It did a lot for the genre, obviously. I do think as good, as solid as it is in following the source material and shit like that, there's still a lot of issues involving the functionality of the film, I think is the best way to put it. There's a lot of things in it that are really dated. For example, like the CG effects are not that great. Spider-Man running for the first time, the Green Goblin flying around, those business guys turning into the spooky, scary skeleton people. Just some shit in it like that, like action-wise and visual-wise, that just do not stand the test of time. And you know, this movie was made in the early 2000s, so you can kind of excuse it, but at the same time, it's not that great to look at today as it was back then. The dialogue also can get pretty corny and dated too.
The itsy bitsy spider went up the water spouts. Down came the goblin and took the spider out.
Tell me how!
The heart, Osborn. First, we attack his heart.
He got out of the car, and you saw her for the first time. You grabbed me and said, "Aunt May? Aunt May? Is that an angel?"
Taller than you look.
I hunch.
Don't.
Deliver us.
Finish it! Finish it!
I do think that the villain is pretty entertaining. You know, Willem Dafoe does a great job as Green Goblin. His descent into madness, of course, it's cheesy. You know, the Green Goblin formula. You're not gonna get any high art storytelling in really any of the Raimi trilogy movies. But as it stands, I mean, I do think he's very entertaining, which is the most important thing. But yeah, despite the fact that he is entertaining in what he says and what he does, the action set pieces that he has with Spider-Man, they feel very choreographed, I think is the best word to describe it. The fight scenes don't really seem very realistic. They kind of seem like a Saturday like kind of live action cartoon, which, you know, again, it's based off a comic book, so I guess you could kind of make the argument that, yeah, that some of the action isn't supposed to be hyper realistic. And, you know, I'm not expecting John Wick or some shit like that, but like, it just seems kind of fake. Besides Willem Dafoe, Franco does alright. I think he gets better as the series like goes on, kinda. He gets more motivation in the stuff that he does, but as of right now, he's kind of just like, he's kind of whatever. Kirsten Dunst complete tart, really doesn't do fucking jack shit through all 3 of the movies. She's really just a trophy, something for Toby to get off his ass at the end of each movie to go and save to lead into the final act. Well, I guess with the exception of movie 3, she gets like a pin drop, a little dewdrop of character development that really doesn't go anywhere once you hit the end of the film. Tobey Maguire, he's a good Spider-Man. I think overall he's okay. He gets the job done. He does some things better than others. Like I think his high school Parker is really good. His college Parker is not that great. He kind of just carries the same performance as he ages and gets older and older. And you know that's not how Peter's supposed to be. When he gets older, he's supposed to be like kind of more mature, kind of more grown into himself, and he kind of still plays the nerd, and it's not how that's supposed to go. And his Spider-Man, he plays really straight as well. He doesn't joke around all that much, doesn't tease the bad guys as much, and that's really what he should be doing. He does have some moments where he does it, but like it's not a regular thing that you'll see. So I think overall he kind of just equates to an okay Spider-Man, an okay Peter, I guess. Good high school Parker, just bad college, and an okay Spider-Man. So yeah, I think that's all I really wanted to say about it. The story, again, it follows the source material great, and it doesn't deviate at all. Hits all the notes and everything, and it also has a lot of heart, to it. Despite it that it is very goofy and cornball at times, the Raimi trilogy as a whole really does have a whole lot of heart, and I respect that because I don't see that in really any of the other live-action adaptations in the Mark Webb or the Disney ones. At least not yet. So, yeah, I really like Spider-Man 1. I respect it a lot. I respect it for what it's done. But, based on functionality issues and just, the dated factor of it and everything, I'm gonna go ahead and put it probably in, okay, middle of the road. I think that's safe to say, right? Just for the impact that it's had, you can't put it any lower than that. But yeah, it's an okay Spider-Man film. It wouldn't be my first choice to watch, but it's still pretty good for what it does. It's a good starting point. All right, so next up we got Spider-Man 2, and that one, ladies and gentlemen, is my favorite Spider-Man film. Still to this day. To this day. Yeah. It's fantastic. It improves on almost every aspect on the first film. Action, fantastic. That train scene is the best Spider-Man action scene ever in any live-action movie to this day. I love that scene to death. You can watch it again and again. Yeah, the villain, Alfred Molina, he does just as good a job as Willem Dafoe. He's a great Dr. Octopus. His motivations are even more understandable, I guess, or more identifiable, I suppose, than even Green Goblin's. He lost his wife and everything, but again, it's kind of that same Jekyll and Hyde thing where like the arms are making him do all this stuff that he wouldn't normally do, and it's still kind of goofy, but at the same time, there's still that heart factor to it, and you can understand where it's kind of coming from, I guess, in a sense. You can kind of like stretch your sense of understanding in that regard. Tobey also struggles with being Spider-Man, not being Spider-Man, wanting something but not being able to have it, like that kind of dichotomy, and it causes him to like lose his powers or be uncertain of himself. It's kind of a good metaphor or analogy for being uncertain about your place in life and everything. So I thought that was handled pretty well. Mary Jane again doesn't do jack shit. I feel bad for Kristen Dunst because she's a good actress and everything, but like, again, she's just basically eye candy throughout this whole movie. She fucks some astronaut guy for a few minutes, J. Jonah Jameson's son. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention J.K. Simmons, great J. Jonah Jameson. Of course, that's why they brought him back. He was literally one of those actors that was just like born for the role. But yeah, outside of that, Harry Osborn, Franco, again, he goes more through the I hate Spider-Man phase of his development, and he starts cheesily hallucinating his Willem Dafoe in mirrors and shit. And again, this movie is not exempt from any of the cheesy kind of weird moments. The whole trilogy has it. But I think really, when you consider each movie, this one probably is the one that's taken the most seriously out of the three. And, you know, for good reason, you know, it does a lot of shit right. I like that scene where him and Aunt May were talking, and about Uncle Ben, and he admits to playing a part in his death. It was a very emotionally impactful scene. And then of course, it's followed by fucking Dr. Octopus with the, I better get the vibranium, jabanium, bing, bing. And, you know, a bunch of that fucking mumbo-jumbo bullshit with the solar power machine. Again, it's goofy, but it's a comic book movie. It's kind of like what you expect, you know. But yeah, I love this movie to death. You know, it improved on a lot of aspects. It forwarded a lot of characters' motivations and everything, and then took them in the different and new, unique directions. With the exception, of course, of Kirsten Dunst, because she's fucking shit in this movie. Well, not her as a person, but, you know, the character. So, yeah, I think I'd go so far as to put this, since it's my favorite, and all-time favorites. Makes sense to me, right? Favorites. Yeah, we'll just leave it there. I know a lot of people think that 2 is a bit overrated, but they can suck a dick, because I like this film a lot, and it's my favorite one still. No Way Home might push it out, you know, but I doubt it. But well, you know, we'll see. All right, so next up we got Spider-Man 3, and this is where shit gets out of hand. You know, this is where Sony starts the process of just shoving as much shit into one movie as they possibly can, and it creates something that is very. It's a clusterfuck, you know, because there's good stuff about this film, you know. A lot of people will say that it's absolutely terrible. A lot of people will say that it's fucking perfect. I'm somewhere in the middle. I think that there's great stuff about it, like Sandman and his whole character arc. Everything pretty much about him in this film is fucking amazing. He is the shining star, without a doubt. But outside of him, like, everyone just seems to regress. Well, actually, with the exception of, I guess, Franco. I think Harry undergoes, like, his character development does move a bit. And, yeah, at the end, like, yeah, he does come to terms with it. Yeah, so I guess Harry also his arc kind of ends in a nice way. But, Toby regresses, you know, he's just acting like a dick. He gets drunk on popularity, you know. That's not something I'd expect out of a college-age Parker. I thought he'd be a little more smarter than that. And it's even prior to him getting the black suit and everything. He still acts like a dick, kind of brushes off his girlfriend. He finds out that his uncle's killer is apparently still out there, and he just, you know, pushes his girlfriend away, just acts like a fucking asshole for really no reason. So yeah, I don't know, dude. It's a mixed bag. Spider-Man 3 is a very mixed bag. And of course it has the most amount of memes out of the whole trilogy. Everybody gets the Peter Parker dancing in the street memes, you know, him eating the fucking cookies and milk, you know, him in the fucking club. There's just so many memes in this movie, you know. You can almost argue that it's so bad it's good type of thing. But, you know, for people who are fans of this arc, who wanted to see a serious take on this, I can't imagine them walking into the theater and looking at that. That must have been a real, something else, you know. And of course there's the Venom, you know, he got shoehorned in at the end. And Topher Grace, he does a good job with what he's told to do, I assume, or what he has to do, but I don't think he's comic accurate Eddie Brock by any means. He kind of plays it more like a greaser kind of guy, like kind of cool guy, and I don't know if that's Eddie Brock. I think I found Eddie Brock more of like kind of this big, like, jockey kind of doofus guy. Well, maybe not doofus, but like he's kind of like this guy that's always down on his luck, just trying to make it in the world, and things just keep getting in the way, and he's just saying, you know what, fuck it, I've had enough. And then he gets the symbiote and goes on to fight Spider-Man, because he sees Spider-Man as like an obstacle in his life that he needs to get over, and he's always ruining it, he's always in his way, kind of thing. That's what I saw Eddie Brock as, you know. But this one, it's more like with Topher Grace, it's like, oh, he took my girl, you know. He's basically just a jilted simp, and so then he just finds a symbiote and he's like, fuck it, if he's taking my girl, I'm gonna take his girl, you know what I'm saying, man? That's what I'm gonna do.
Made me lose my girl. Now I'm gonna make you lose yours. How's that sound, Tiger?
And then there's also, you know, like, dumbified Gwen Stacy, like, complete airhead, even more so than Mary Jane. Kind of a slap in the face to the character, really. I feel bad for Gwen Stacy fans, because that's a tough ordeal. I mean, she was hot, but you know, there's absolutely nothing going on up there, like, whatsoever. And then yeah, outside of that, everyone else does an okay job, I guess. It's just with the exception of Sandman, of course. But yeah, everyone kind of just seems to regress outside of like Sandman and James Franco. So yeah, it's definitely a mixed bag of a film, and definitely the weakest. Actually, I don't know. Spider-Man 1 really is just weird to watch nowadays. I don't know if 3 is the weakest out of them all, but it's certainly it's not good, you know. Like quality-wise with the story, I think Spider-Man 1 is a lot better because it's a lot more focused, you know. But Spider-Man 3 definitely has the action's better, the CG's better, and everything because it has the similar shit from Spider-Man 2. So you know, it's a toss-up for a lot of people, but like Spider-Man 3, it's definitely so bad it's a good movie. It's very entertaining, I will say that, but objectively speaking, like quality-wise, it's probably is the worst out of all of them. But you know, just based on the entertainment factor and everything for me, and the fact that the action still is really good and everything, I'll go ahead and probably put it here. I'll probably put it next to Spider-Man 1. Just because that Sandman stuff really is just, it really was so fantastic. I think that really helps push the film up for me. If that wasn't in it and he was shit, I might have put this movie in the bad tier, to be honest with you. But again, if we're taking it serious-wise, if I want to be a fucking sarcastic asshole, I'd put it in S tier because the memes are just their quality, you know. But this is a serious list. This is a serious tier list, and yeah, that's where I'd probably stick it. I'm gonna go ahead and say that it's middle of the road. It's all right, you know. It has a lot of issues, but the good stuff that it does really, really well. So yeah, but the goofy stuff just it drags it down way too much. Okay, so now we're gonna move on to the Mark Webb films, and yeah, Andrew Garfield, I'm a fan. I like him as Spider-Man. I think he's the best Spider-Man actually to date. But his Parker is weird. I think he's a good college Parker. If they made him a more adult Peter Parker, I think it would be perfect. I think he'd have the full package then. He'd probably be the best Spider-Man. But they made him high school, and I just don't buy it. He looks way too old to be in high school already. They also made him like really cool. Like they made him like the cool kid in school, like the guy who has the cool guy that can like hack your phone kind of thing, and just be like, yeah, you know, he's a nerd, but like we respect him kind of thing. And high school Parker didn't really get a whole lot of respect. And I think that's the major difference there. You know, give him a skateboard and everything. You know, like they try to make him little cool kid in school, and you know, that's not what high school Parker was. You know, he was a fucking nerd's nerd. You know, he was a geek. So yeah, that was kind of not really believable. I guess it was a more quote unquote modern take because I don't know who gets bullied for just being a geek or a nerd anymore in fucking the 21st century. Probably not that many people, I imagine. You know, but fuck it. This Amazing Spider-Man 1 it's a good movie. It's a good movie. Again, like I said, Andrew Garfield, best Spider-Man. He cracks jokes. He does his thing. Best web-slinging scenes out of any Spider-Man movie ever. Well, I'm talking about like the franchise as a whole, like the Mark Webb films. Yeah, villain is weak. I think the Raimi's ones were better. The Lizard, his motivation is kind of weird, you know. I just want to turn everyone into lizard people, and again, it's the Jekyll and Hyde thing all over again. And after I've seen Sandman with his good development, and I went back to this again, it just seems kind of like a regression, really, and it's kind of boring. So yeah, the Lizard wasn't really all that interesting. I like Gwen Stacy. I think Gwen Stacy is actually really fucking fantastic. Emma Stone, great job. Definitely great improvement over Kirsten Dunst. Miles ahead by yards and fucking fields better than Kirsten Dunst ever was. She actually does shit, you know. She helps Spider-Man out. She's really smart and everything. It's a good portrayal of Gwen Stacy. It really fixes the botched version that was in Spider-Man 3. So yeah, and the romance between them is also really good. They have good chemistry together. So yeah, I think they have the best romance out of any Spider-Man film as well. It's just their villains are weak. Yeah, like I said before, Lizard not really. He didn't really hit the spot for me too much. The action set pieces also were not that interesting. Like we got a sewer, we had Oscorp Tower, we had a school. Like that's it. Like it's not that great really at all. Also, major plot point that they forgot about in the first film. He goes looking for his uncle's killer. Spoiler alert, I guess. He goes looking for his uncle's killer, and he completely forgets about it. Like, halfway through the movie, he's just like... He just abandons the whole mission because something else, like, came up or something. I think some shit about the lizard, and then he just completely forgets about it. And they never bring it up in the second one either, so it's... We get no closure to that, and it's kind of strange. There's also this subplot where, like, when the movie begins, like, his dad is on the run for something or another, and we never saw Peter's parents in the Raimi films at all. So them doing it in The Amazing Spider-Man, I can see why, to kind of differentiate it from the past films, but at the same time, it's kind of an arc that you don't really need, because they never bring it up really ever again throughout the rest of the movie, outside of like the beginning. So yeah, Amazing Spider-Man 1 is it's good. I think it's good. It just it suffers from some blandness a bit in terms of the action set pieces, and the villain I think are a bit too bland. So I'm gonna go ahead and probably gonna put it in that good with some flaws. I think that's probably good, because the character development between Andrew Garfield, Gwen Stacy really carried the first film. Also, the suit argument. A lot of people argue about the suit. I actually like the suit in the first Amazing Spider-Man. I thought it was a good portrayal. But yeah, it's a good film. I think overall, it just has some nicks and crannies in it that I don't like. I don't like the villain, like I said before, and I think some of the action set pieces could have been a lot better. But besides that, I think it's a solid movie. It's a solid movie. I think it's enjoyable. Just some parts of it are just kind of bland to me. Okay, so next up we have Amazing Spider-Man 2. Fuck. Yeah, this is where shit kind of derails again. And you know, this has a lot of similar issues to Spider-Man 3, but it's been amplified to shit proportions again. They don't just have 2 villains now they have 3. And they all are developed in this one movie. They weren't in one, they weren't in any other ones. No, they all got introduced and developed and all become bad guys in this one film. They try and juggle way too fucking much, right? Spider-Man 3 already was a bit much. This is fucking overkill now, right? And okay, so let's just go through them, right? Okay, so we have Electro, Jamie Foxx. Meme-worthy performance once again.
You need me? Yes! I need you, please! 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 I know what it's like to be thrown away! Please, Max! I need you! I need you!
The way he looks is, I guess it's fine. It's like a modern take. He kind of looks like Dr. Manhattan, I guess. Rhino, Paul Giamatti, he's in it for like, what, a total of 10 minutes out of the whole movie? A couple minutes in the beginning, and a couple minutes at the end with that completely fucking clickbait ending with Spider-Man fighting Rhino that we never get to see. So yeah, I feel bad for the Rhino fans out there who literally went to that movie just to see the action scene between those two never got to see it. And then we have the Green Goblin, Harry Osborn. The actor, I forget his name. I actually kind of like him. I like the way that he talks. I don't know, which is kind of weird. I might fuck him actually. Him, he does a decent job, but again, he's introduced in this movie, so do we really give a shit about him? Honestly, we don't really know too much about him outside that he's Harry, and they used to be, him and Andrew Garfield used to be friends like a long time ago. And you know, we never see it really. We're just told how to feel. That's how this movie feels. We're told how to feel. We're told, like, you should be caring about this right now. This is how you should feel about this right now. And everything is just very forced, very in your face, and it's not great. It's very, very bad. And it's not like Spider-Man 3 where like there's a Sandman or something that could help elevate it a little bit. Like, no, all the villains are just, they're underdeveloped, they're undercooked, and they're just fucking, they're atrocious, you know, they fucking suck. Yeah, Andrew Garfield, he does this thing again, you know, his performance doesn't get any worse or doesn't get that much better either, really. Gwen Stacy and him break up, again, more of that kind of needless breakup shit for no reason, that was in the Raimi trilogy. I can't even remember why she dumped him. I think, he was feeling guilty, like he was cheesily hallucinating, like her dad, everywhere he went with her dad going like, I told you to stay away from her. I don't know. It's not, I think it's just kind of a stupid reason to break them up, you know, over that. So yeah, like that shit kind of seems like a relationship regression to me, kinda. I mean, you can't really get past that at that point. I don't know. It's just strange, but it is what it is. Kind of setting up the ending, I suppose. But yeah, I don't know. This film is just, it seems it's overload. There's just way too much to take in, and to the point where you don't give a shit about anything. And you know, there's a sub point with his dad, and there was some deleted scene actually where Peter's dad actually shows up at the end when Peter goes to visit Gwen Stacy's grave because she dies. Spoiler alert, I guess, again, if you haven't seen it, but if you haven't seen it at this point, I don't know what the fuck you're doing watching this. Yeah, he shows up at the end, and or at least some point throughout the film, and the scene is decent, you know, it could have helped at least tie some shit together, but they ended up cutting it. And I imagine it's because they already had too much shit already, and they couldn't find anywhere to squeeze it in. And so this whole plot point with his dad finding out what the dad experiment and why he had to go on the run or whatever, it's pointless because it never really gets a definitive conclusion outside of oh yeah, the Spider-Man formula or the experimental spiders are used from my blood, and that's how you got your powers because you're of my blood. But yeah, this movie is way too much going on. And it's to the point where you don't give a fuck. You don't give a flying fuck about anybody anymore. Oh yeah, and the soundtrack too. Like that also needs a fucking honorable mention. That soundtrack is just, that shit is fucking jokes for days. Like I don't understand how people could literally just sit making that soundtrack and listen to it and be like, oh yeah, this shit's bopping, man.
Shut up! You're so selfish.
Stay with me, Max.
You set me up.
No, I didn't set you up.
You lied to me.
No, I'm trying to help you. Let me help you.
It's laughably bad. It's terrible. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and put it in F. No, not F. Because there's good things about it. I think that, again, the web slinging scenes are pretty cool. Again, best web slinging scenes in any Spider-Man movie. The suit, oh yeah, I also forgot to mention the suit, is also comic accurate, you know, probably the best Spider-Man suit, I think. We can all agree on that. Again, Andrew Garfield does a good job. It's just, there's so much shit going on. And, I guess if we're gonna average it out, since Spider-Man 3 is already in the okay It's definitely one worse than that. So I think it's safe to say that we're gonna have to put it in D category, where you know, it's bad. Not the worst of the worst, but very bad. So yeah, that's the Mark Webb trilogy, or not even trilogy, fucking duology. Rumor has it that Andrew Garfield missed some fucking meeting with the Sony executive or something and got fucking axed. Another rumor that this fucking movie killed any other movies that we get out of this particular universe of Spider-Man, because, you know, Spider-Man 2 got panned so fucking badly. You can believe whatever you want to believe, but I mean, we only got 2 films, so I mean, that's Mark Webb's run. And yeah, wasn't that great. Okay, now we're moving on to the Disney movies. Okay, Spider-Man Homecoming. It is the worst Spider-Man movie I have ever seen. I am not joking. A lot of people say that Far From Home is worse. I disagree. I think Homecoming is just, it's not so bad in terms of what happens. It's just, it's so empty, you know? It's so void of any substance that it just feels like a waste of your fucking time. Like, why am I here? Why am I even sitting down watching this shit? It seems like nothing really is happening. Nothing at all. And I don't know, it's really fucking strange, this movie, to really describe. Okay, let's just start off with the beginning, you know. With the characters, I guess. Tom Holland, is he a good Spider-Man? Yes or no? No. I don't think he's a very good Spider-Man. I think it's just this thing where I like college older Parker better than like kid Peter Parker. I think that's what it is, maybe. That's what I'm guessing anyway. Because Tom is just, he's too, the kid voice and everything, and I hate it. I hate that shit. I hate it so much. It feels like I'm watching Disney Channel Spider-Man, you know. It just feels so empty, so apathetic, you know, like he doesn't really give a shit. Like he's just cracking a bunch of jokes all the time. And yes, Spider-Man's supposed to be a jokester. He's supposed to crack jokes and everything like that. But like, it doesn't seem like there's any really serious moments in this movie where I'm like, oh yeah, we're gonna get some proper character development now. Or like we're gonna learn about like something about his past now. Uncle Ben never gets mentioned, not even once, never in the entire film. We don't know where the fuck he is. He could be on an island sipping fucking Bacardis with a bunch of hookers right now. We wouldn't fucking know, because Uncle Ben is never shown. He's barely mentioned. I think they bring him up once where Tom Holland's like, oh, what happened to my uncle? You know, my aunt's still not over that. And that's all we fucking get. I guess they wanted to do something different, but it's differently shit. I mean, that's one of the main points of Spider-Man, and you're not even gonna mention it. Okay, I guess. Vulture, Michael Keaton, he does a decent job, I mean, with what he has to do, but again, the motivations of the character are just kind of dumb, really. You know, he's just selling a bunch of alien tech from Avengers 1 battle, or it might have been Avengers 2 battle. I think it was the Avengers 2 one. Anyway, yeah, he's just selling a bunch of scraps and stuff because he got fired from his job because of Tony Stark. Which, again, is just a big plot point with these fucking Marvel Spider-Man movies. Everything ties back to fucking Tony Stark, you know? Spider-Man can't have his own identity. It's tied to Tony. Everything is fucking tied to Tony fucking Stark. And it is so annoying. Spider-Man has no identity, you know? It's like he's a facsimile of Tony Stark. Tony is basically his Uncle Ben for all intents and purposes. And it really shouldn't be that way. Not at all. Zendaya as Mary Jane, not even close to the character personality-wise. I don't give a shit about fucking race in this instance, because I know a lot of people also have made the argument like, oh, she's not white, she's not a redhead, whatever. Even that aside, just like her whole personality, it just really doesn't say Mary Jane at all. I'd expect this more out of like Gwen Stacy or something, which I don't know why they just made her Gwen Stacy instead. But no, they made her MJ, which is Mary Jane. He doesn't actually get with her in the first film though. She's introduced, he shows no sign of like attraction to her at all. So the second film makes even less sense than... Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. We'll get to that. But, yeah, I don't... This movie just feels very fake. It feels very flimsy. There's a few action scenes that I like with him in the boat, but then it's immediately ruined with Iron Man coming in to save the day, because Spider-Man can't do dick all by himself. He's a fucking child. And I think that really just boils down to it. This movie feels like it was made for fucking infantile children. You know, this is not Spider-Man, this is Spider-Boy. You know, it's not what I wanted to see out of a Spider-Man movie. It's a bad, goofy film. It's not actually funny. The jokes they make are not funny at all. They're very fucking childish and just stupid and empty, void of any substance. This movie is really, it really is. I fucking despise it. I know a lot of people think that Far From Home is worse, but no, this is the bottom of the barrel for me. I can't remember shit from this movie. I've only seen it once, and I have no intention of ever seeing it ever again. Fuck Disney Channel Spider-Man. I hate it. So, yeah, Homecoming. Kill yourself. F. Trash. Fucking garbage. Bane of my existence. Worst of the worst. Okay, so now we have, Far From Home. A little bit better, but still fucking garbage. Tony's dead, so, you know, he's not gonna be making any cameos in this one. But even still, like, his aura, it can still be kind of seen all over the film. And the villain in this Mysterio is just some jilted worker that worked with Tony Stark, who he fired for like some stupid reason, and now he just wants revenge because everything has to be tied back to fucking Tony Stark in these new Spider-Man movies. And yeah, I mean, he's cool. He has cool powers and everything. It's visually very cool to look at, you know, with the illusions and shit. But again, like, motivations are just dumb. He doesn't really hate Spider-Man. Spider-Man is just kind of just in the way, like, you know? And it feels that way with fucking Vulture too, you know? It's like, they really hate Tony Stark, but, you know, he's kind of just in the way. So he's like, yeah, I guess we just have to battle him now, right? It's like, his villains don't feel like his villains. His villains feel like Tony's fucking leftovers. Yeah, so the whole movie is basically him going on this vacation, and you can tell how much I don't give a fuck. He goes on this vacation, and Mysterio pops up. He fights him for a little bit, and you know, Nick Fury comes. He tries to recruit him to kind of figure out what's going on with this Mysterio guy, but Peter doesn't want any of that. He just wants a normal vacation. He wants to get close because he really wants to bang Mary Jane. This comes out of fucking nowhere. Like I said before, in the first movie, there was like no fucking chemistry between those two, like at all. Like, she would just come in, she would say some like Daria-esque line, and then she would just like peace out, and you never see her again for like a good like 30 or so minutes until she shows up again, just says something like really edgy, and then she leaves again. It's like Disney's just saying like, yeah, you guys know how this shit's already gonna go. You guys know how the beats are gonna go, so we're just gonna skip all the fucking important shit, and we're just gonna pair them up together now. Yeah, he's given these glasses from Tony's will or something that can like call orbital V strikes down from the fucking heavens. So Spider-Man pretty much, I don't know why he doesn't just use those. Like, fuck the web shooters and shit. Just fucking orbital V-strike all your enemies, you know, they'd all be dead. He very retardedly gives them up because he doesn't want the fucking responsibility or some shit, or he doesn't believe he deserves it. But instead of giving them, like, to someone responsible, he gives them over to the guy that he met, like, a couple weeks ago, who he barely knows, who just came out of some quote-unquote other dimension according to him, and he just gives him the glasses. Here you go. And then Mysterio takes them, and he has this basically big drone fight with Spider-Man at the end of the film, and it's cool. Actually, I kind of like the action set piece. It's kind of interesting. At the end, him and Dom and Zendaya share a little kissy-goo, a little smooch, and again, like, no chemistry. Oh, I completely fucking forgot to explain Ned, his fat little Asian sidekick guy. I don't know what the fuck they're gonna do with him. Maybe in the new movie, they're probably gonna kill him or turn. I think he becomes the Hobgoblin or something, right? I think. But yeah, he's annoying. He's the quote-unquote comedic relief. He's not funny. He wasn't funny in the first one. Not funny in this one. I think some of the action got a little bit better. The visual effects got a lot better with Mysterio and everything, and that's really the only thing that's keeping this movie up for me. Over Homecoming, it was just more visually interesting to look at, I guess, and that action at set piece at the end with the drones was kind of cool too. That's really about it. Other than that, it's just these movies are just bad. I mean, I'm gonna have to, I have to put it next to Amazing Spider-Man 2 for me, honestly, just because of the visual effects. But besides that, like, it's still bad. It's still fucking bad. All right, so yeah, that's really all the live action ones. There is honorable mention that I have here, and that is Venom, the Venom films. I don't really gotta say too much about these, you know. They're bad. Everyone knows they're pretty bad, you know. No connection to Spider-Man at all, so you already lose half of like the whole reason of why Venom is what he is. Yeah, the first one is just, it was really boring from what I remember. Not really that interesting. The villain was also pretty goofy. He was like some brown Steve Jobs guy, and the visual effects were really clunky too, especially at the end when they were like meshing into each other's one giant like glob of fucking symbiote shit. And yeah, it was just really ugly to look at, and substance wise just not a whole lot there either. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and put in trash. I didn't like it at all. Actually, you know what? No, it was bad. Some of the scenes were okay. In the first one, at least, some of the scenes were okay. I could take it like a little, like barely seriously. Which is a shame because I actually expected this film to be kind of good, you know. Not super amazing or anything, but the trailer made it look like it was going to be more of a serious take on the character, which I wanted to see, but it wasn't. So, shame, but you know, yeah, it's kind of just bad. The second one, which actually isn't on this list because I found this list online. They don't have like the option for it here, so I'll probably just go ahead and put that one in F. Like, that one is just super forgettable. It's barely an hour long, and you could tell that they really didn't fucking try. This was just really just a setup to just introduce Venom into the multiverse, into the Spider-Man universe. So yeah, that's just, you can just imagine it here in F tier next to Homecoming. So yeah, now we have Into the Spider-Verse left, and that's the one animated movie. Really good. I really enjoyed it. The animation style is really where this movie makes its bones because it's so unique. You know, we've never really seen anything like this in animation, especially in regards to Spider-Man. And I thought it was really well done. I thought it was handled really well. Story-wise, it's kind of your typical hero's journey kind of story, like a lot of the Spider-Man films. Miles is a likable character. I like him a lot, way more than Holland. But yeah, he was still really good. You know, it's still a really good movie. It had a lot of heart. It had a lot of soul. Reminded me a lot of the Raimi trilogy, where that also had heart in it. This one, you could see it had a good heart. It had good intentions when this was being made. And I think overall it is really well done. Is it one of my S tier top favorites of all time? I don't really know for sure. I've seen it a few times. I like it. I like it a lot. I don't know if it's my absolute favorite though. And I can't really pinpoint it. I think it maybe has to do with the fact that, I guess, I don't know really, to be honest. Maybe it's the fact that it is just animated. Maybe I do prefer a more live action take with Spider-Man. But, I don't know. I never actually thought about it up until now, but nothing really is terribly wrong with it. So, I guess with that being said, I mean, I have to fucking acknowledge how great it is. I have to put it in S tier, right? I think it doesn't really belong anywhere else other than there. Soundtrack's also really good too. Forgot to mention that. But yeah, this is my list, guys. Surprisingly, no one made A tier. I guess you could tell Spider-Man films are either like one side of the spectrum or the other side. There's like very few that are like in between. So we have Spider-Man 2, Into the Spider-Verse, and S tier. Some of my favorite movies of all time in regards to Spider-Man. Nobody in A. B, we have Amazing Spider-Man 1. And then we have Spider-Man 1 and 3 in the OK / middle of the road. Then we have in the bad category Amazing Spider-Man 2, Far From Home, and Venom. And then we have in the F tier we have Homecoming and Venom 2, which of course wasn't on the fucking list because I think this list is a bit old since Venom 2 came out recently, like I said before. So yeah, that's my list. And fuck, dude, my throat is fucking killing me. Hope you all enjoyed. That is it for me. See you later.